Means and anomalies can come up in loads of places in your exam. Biology, chemistry, physics, paper one, paper two. It's just anything where there's repeat readings, so you calculate a mean. Now, all you really need to know about anomalies is that they are results that do not fit the pattern. They're most likely caused by some kind of random error. So you can go and have a look at my video on errors. But they should be left out of mean calculations. Now, sometimes they'll be quite nice and they'll tell you to leave them out. So, the student did the test 4 times. It doesn't matter what the test is for this question, so don't worry about that. The student calculated the mass of solid on apparatus X after heating. The table below shows the student's results. So we've got the full results from their repeat readings. Calculate the mean mass of solid. Do not include the anomalous result in your calculation and give your answer to two significant figures. They've been nice in this question because they've pointed out there's an anomaly and told you to leave it out. So if I look at the results, 0.12, 0.29, 0.14, 0.15. That stands out. That's a lot bigger than the other numbers. So I am going to leave it out like they've told me to. So I am simply going to work out the mean of test 1, test 3, and test 4. Now, to calculate the mean, you add up your values. Apologies about my writing. Then you divide by how many values you've actually added up. So I'm going to divide by 3 because I've added up 3 values. Remember, in a science exam, you're always allowed a calculator, so I would just type that into my calculator, remembering to put brackets around the add because I needed to do that first. And my calculator comes out with 0.136666667. Now that gets me 2 marks. 1 mark for my working out, 1 mark for the answer. But it does say give your answer to two significant figures. So the first 0 is not a significant figure. So my two significant figures are the 1 and the 3. However, the next numbers are 6. So I need to round up. So rounding up, that's going to become 0.14. There's my third mark. But as I've said, the question was nice because it told me to ignore the anomaly. The next question, table 1 shows the results. Doesn't matter what the question was about. Calculate the value x in the table. So I've got to go and look that x is the mean. They've not told me calculate the mean. I've got to look that's what it is. They've also not told me to leave out the anomalies. They've not given me that reminder. But if I look at my 3 values, 40.5, 29.5, 31.5, that stands out as being much bigger. I mean, if you look at all the other rows, they're all within like 1 or 2 of each other. That's massive. So I'm going to leave it out. So I'm just going to find the mean of these 2 values. So again, 1 mark for my working out, 29.5 plus 31.5. In brackets, because I must do that first on my calculator. Then divide by the number of values, which is 2. Type it into my calculator. That comes out as 30.5. They've not asked me to round it, so that is my answer. But this question wasn't as nice because it didn't remind you to leave out the anomaly. You had to know to do that. Now, final question I'll show you. A little bit different. So a different student used a method which gave valid results. So again, does not matter what the experiment is. We are being asked to calculate the value x. Well, we've got the mean. We're being asked to calculate one of the values that actually contributed to the mean. That's quite an extra bit to do. But if I write it out in the same way, I can figure this out. If I was working out the mean, I would add up the values. So I would do 0.3 plus whatever x is, so I'll leave it as x, plus 0.26. I would divide by the number of values, which is 3. And then when I type that into my calculator, the mean I would get is 0.29. That gets me 1 mark for my working out. But now I can rearrange my equation. Now, I need to get x on its own. So the first thing I've got to do is get rid of divide 3. We get rid of divide 3 by doing the opposite. We times by 3. So it's going to end up as 0.30 plus x plus 0.26. I'm going to times by 3 to get rid of the divide 3. So it's going to become 0.29 times 3. Then what I've got to do, well, I can work out that 0.29 times 3. Let me go to my trusty calculator. 0.29 times 3 is 0.87. So don't write as big as me, but now I've got 0.3 plus x plus 0.26 is 0.87. Now I still need to get x on its own. At the moment, x is plus 0.26 and plus 0.3. So I need to take them away, but I do the same to both sides. So I'm going to end up with x equals 0.87, take away 0.3, take away 0.26. And that gives me a final answer that x is 0.31. Now, don't write as big as me because I've gone off the lines, but that 0.31 would go on my answer line. And there's my second mark. So there's just 3 types of questions you can get on means and anomalies.